This week's topic is autumn nights. Given the dual meaning of aki as autumn, but also having had enough, autumn nights, aki no yo, almost inevitably contained a sense of nights when you're fed up. And so, as we shall see, it was a topic which allowed the poets to outdo themselves with accounts of how miserable they were. 身のうさを思い明かせば草枕糸どつゆけき秋の夜な夜な In misery have dwelt my thoughts all night till dawn, so my pillow of grass is all the more dew-drenched, autumn night after autumn night. Akinaka starts the sequence off with an expression of abject misery. His speaker is travelling away from home, hence the reference to a pillow of grass, kusamakura, and is miserable with it, crying into his pillow every night he's away. The implication is obviously that he's been separated from his lover, but why and where he's going, that we just have to imagine. Marone suru nagatsuki no yo no hisashisa wa shigi naki nutote tanomare mo sezu. Tossing in fitful sleep, a night in the longest month does last forever. A snipe cried out, I thought, quite unexpectedly. I love the word with which Nakazane starts his poem, marone. Maro derives from a word meaning roll, and so the image in marone is of the person rolling constantly from side to side, unable to get comfortable, and so only dozing fitfully. His poem captures the sense of how a night when you just can't get to sleep seems to drag on, and the slightest sound, in this case the snipe letting out a call, can force you awake. Aki no yo no tori no hatsune wa tsure mo naki hito machishi yo no kokochi koso sure. On an autumn night, the cock's first crow is cruel indeed. That all night I've awaited him, how well I feel that now. Toshiori speaks in the voice of a woman. She has stayed up all night, constantly hoping that her lover will call. But the cock's first crow tells her that night is over. Her man will definitely not be coming, and she has wasted her time. Unsurprisingly, she feels utterly miserable. Aki gateki gataki, aki no yona yona, iku tabi ka, mado otsu ame ni me o samasuran. There is no dawning autumn night after autumn night. How many times must the rain beating on my window start my eyes apart? Autumn is generally a bright and clear season in Japan, particularly at the beginning. But Tadafusa's speaker is speaking when the season is drawing to a close, and winter is coming, bringing worse weather with it, the rain he speaks of. It's worth remembering, of course, that his window would not have had glass, but wooden shutters, and it's the drumming of water on wood that's waking him up. Aki no yo wa nagai no ura ni yoru nami no kayasu kayasu zo nezamerere keru. On an autumn night along the bay at Nagai, waves do rush time and time again. Have I lain sleepless? Kanemasa's poem plays with words, in that the place he mentions, the bay at Nagai, contains the syllables naga, which mean long. So the beginning of the poem, Aki no yo wa naga, also means autumn nights are long. He then adds to this wordplay, using the verb yoru, approach, for the waves nearing the shore, which is homophonous with yoru, night. So this is both approaching waves and the waves at night. He then concludes by linking the constant beating of the waves on the shore with the image of himself lying constantly awake and unable to sleep. He doesn't say why, but the implication surely is that it's unhappy love which is keeping him from his rest. 秋の夜を明け方しとは一人塗る旅の窓にぞ思い知らるる。An autumn night has no dawn, they say. Sleeping solo on my travels, my window has shown this to be so true. Higo ties together a number of the images which we have already had in this sequence. The unhappy traveller, the misery of being alone and without one's lover, the dreary length of the night when you can't sleep, and the cloudy dark dawn. All of these are contained in her poem. Mushi no ne mo chiji ni midararu aki no yo no aware o ikaga iitsukusu beki. The insects' cries are innumerable in their confusion. On an autumn night, how moving they are, grown hoarse with exhaustion. Daishin brings in another autumn image, that of the insects, crickets, grasshoppers, and cicadas, which fill Japanese nights in summer with their songs. As the autumn draws on, though, these sounds die away as the insects die off. Daishin uses a conceit of them having exhausted themselves, but knows full well that the exhaustion leads only to death. On that less than cheery note, the sequence ends. The next topic is the moon at dawn.